Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a mixed media frenzy. And as you can see from the mess on my desk here, it had already started to become a frenzy as I was trying to do some of the pre-work for my layout. And I decided that instead of making a shorter video with a lot of the stuff done, there are lots of different techniques that I'm trying here to achieve the look of our the sketch that we're doing today. I'm doing quite a few things that are different to what I normally do, and so they're, you know, kind of first time for me. And instead of going with this kind of mauve and beige and brown color scheme, I'm going with a really bright, vibrant color scheme that kind of matches the shirts that and little necklaces or leis that the girls are wearing in this photo. I have no idea why they're wearing those or where they were. I think that's the park that's near the house. But it's Ava and one of her best friends back, you know, before her diagnosis, when she could still act and behave like a kid and feel like a kid. So they were doing their little dramatic I wear my sunglasses at night kind of look there. So I love that photo. It came up in my Facebook memories and I had never scrapped it before. I don't think I'd seen it before. It was one that their dad took that I hadn't seen. Okay, so that said, I've pulled, again, working with my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit that is built on everything I own that's Vicky Boutin. So I'm using, as you can probably see up there, I think, these 6 vibrant texture pastes and my 2 color wheels. This is from the very oldest Vicky Boutin collection that I own, maybe her first ever. It predated All the Good Things. I think this is All the Good Things, maybe Field Notes, stamp set that I'm going to use extensively here. Like I said, I fussy cut butterflies here. I'm going to stamp them, but I wanted you to see what the sheet looked like and how many more butterflies I can cut out and alter. I have some netting that went around, I think, some pears that, some fresh pears that were packed sometime. I've cut this off of a larger piece, so I have a little bit more, and I'm going to try to color that one of these days to do something for a seaside layout. I have a piece of fabric that I'm fringing, and I'll finish fringing this side of it on camera. I have some Bramble Fox perspectives. This is not Vicky Boutin, but it's something I had fussy cut a while back. It's a leaf sprig, and there's a leaf sprig in the original. I thought I had a small piece that went with that, but oh, there it is. Okay, reach across the table, sorry. And got a credit card for spreading some things. I've selected a few stencils. I think I might use most of them, maybe all, but and some of them I'm just going to use a black pen through and copy. But those should add to the grunge level. Right now, the things I have done so far. First of all, I'm going to be mounting my photo on this background, which is a little 5x5 canvas. And I've never done canvas on top of a paper layout before, but I'm gonna try it. If I work this right, it should still fit in a page protector and a photo album, although, you know, the page will be heavy, but we'll see. I used a piece of packaging here, and here's the rest of it, and I may use some of this because I'm also working, and I didn't show you that, I don't have it printed out here. I'm also working on a spoonful of scraps recipe for a white background, check. Lots of colors, so you can kind of see how that's building up. So I'll have a check there. And a lot of circular shapes. And we're supposed to count to see how many circular shapes we can get on the page. So right here, if all these circles count, and if I tear that and find a way to put it on, that'll go. And that lime green kind of goes nicely with the lei that Ava's friend is wearing. Okay, I have taken my ink blending tool, and I pressed it into both the really dark pink and this bright pink, kind of like so, and went around the outside of this because I know the photo is going to be on the inside. And I just kind of, it's a pigment ink, so it really leaves a nice nice look there, a nice and bright pink look. So I'm going to put that aside for a second, and I just wanted to show you that. What I'm doing now, and what I was in the middle of when I decided to stop and go ahead and make the video, is I'm making the little white streaks. You'll see in the original these kind of scratch marks there. And I'm kind of dipping my this small palette knife into some gesso, Vicky Boutin gesso, by the way. I'm sticking with all Vicky Boutin all the time, except for that one leaf sprig, and maybe I'll forego that just to stay 100%. I'm getting some, this isn't working as well as I thought. Let me kind of do it on here, and then I can do this. Okay. I think it's going to look nice no matter what. I'm going to achieve the desired look, and I'm doing some scrapes. Let me kind of do a little bit of a scrape across there. Kind of run some. Ooh, I like that has some little crisscrossy looking lines. And of course I messed them up. Okay, so that's probably enough messing with that. I may leave that gesso there. Well, no, I'll put some more out if I need it. I really don't want to mess up any of my paper stuff, so I'm just going to wipe that off with a paper towel. Okay, toss that out. Okay, the gesso dries quickly, so I'm probably going to go ahead and mount my photo, and I probably want some foam behind there. No, this is going to raise everything up enough that I'm not going to do my, I'm not going to do foam. I'm going to use a little bit different kind of adhesive for this. I want this to stay completely down. Now that I've decided not to raise it up with foam, I really want to thoroughly mount it. And sometimes the dry adhesive won't adhere to the kind of textured canvas. And just going to kind of press it down, and I'm not going to worry about any white gesso. See, it's not, even this is not really adhering too well. There's another challenge that I have to do. I think it's my last one for the scrapbooking day challenge. Okay, that didn't even work there. So I'm gonna do a bead of liquid adhesive, and I'm gonna kind of make it come outside the lines and really paste that down. This side kind of stuck, and what I'm doing, what I'm planning to do, and that I'm gonna do it even where it's kind of sticking. I'm gonna do this and go over this so it truly looks mounted and like part of the, like the photo was actually painted on the canvas. And I'm gonna open my gesso back up again and do some of these lines actually overlapping onto the photo, especially on the parts that aren't important to the photo. So I'll do some that are right there, and I'm spending way more time on this than I should. But I don't want to overdo it, so I think I'll stop while I'm ahead. Okay, again, put that away. There's so much building up of texture and interest on the background that I hate to spend so much time on the photo cluster. Okay, going back to my fabric, what I want to do is build the photo cluster and then do the background. I usually do it the other way around, but I kind of need to know where the photo cluster is and how it's going to fit before I build the background. Let me do, all I'm doing here is with my tweezers, kind of pulling the threads out, and I'm gonna let the threads stay out and let them extend out beyond the cluster. Not quite sure where this is going to go with respect to this, but the cluster is going to include this paper underneath it all. So this is going to go kind of like so. And I thought this let me do it this way. I'd like that pink to show, so I don't mind obscuring this bottom part. Okay, if I do it like that, and then have this kind of in a kind of underneath that. So let me do the gluing onto the back here. And yes, I know that's possibly wet. Let's see, did it go this way or this way? This way. Okay, so we'll go like this. That's possibly wet, and you can see that it is. But if it smears, I think it'll just look that much better. Okay, let me do some glue here. I bought these 5-inch canvases for a project I had in mind for the house, and then I didn't really do the project, and they're kind of sitting there They were actually in my mixed media cart. When I decided not to use them, I must have put that there. So I was looking at my mixed media cart to find these things this morning, and I came across that. Okay, so again, this, I may, the reason I have this sticking out is because I have something that's going to go kind of over here. I'm going to let this kind of hang out underneath there. And maybe my best way to adhere that is with some washi tape. It'll all hold better once I've got it adhered to the page, but for now, just to kind of hold it in place and make it behave. Okay, I'm gonna let this, in the original it shows out this side. You can kind of see that piece of paper back there. I'm gonna let it kind of show out this side, and I'm gonna switch it back around because the pink in this isn't really so great there. Let me get this down and fully mounted, and then I'm going to work in that piece of packaging, and then we'll build up some of the other physical elements. Okay. What I love about mixed media is, you know, it's messy. And if you get messy, if it turns out messy, so much the better. That was kind of the point, right? Okay, here's that piece of packaging. And what I have in mind is to mount it like this on top of there. But now I need to see where that will fit on the paper. And the glue isn't holding that on too well, but what I want is for this to go to the edge. So if I do it like this, that's gonna be possible. It kind of loses some of the all the way to the right kind of look, and I did that last week. I'm gonna actually tear it off here so I can put it more to the right. I'll do that. Okay, let me get that mounted, and then we'll go to work on the background. Let's see what we need to do there. Okay, this is going to be raised, so I may prop this up with some foam if I feel like I need to. I'm gonna do that so both girls' photos are a little bit covered up. Okay, so that's gonna go there. What I'm gonna do is draw very lightly a pencil line for the kind of the vertical axis there, and then my horizontal axis I want to line up with this, and it's kind of gonna go there. Okay, so let me put that aside and do this next part, which is kind of the scary part. I want the girls' shirt colors to kind of be my main color story. So I'm gonna push this over. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a credit card here, and I'm going to do it on this sheet. Let me put the color wheels away. I may go back to those, but I want to get this pink and a contrasting color, and there's a teal in all of this. There's a teal here. There's a, let me bring this into sight. I've got this kind of greener teal that's about that exact color in this butterfly. And then we've got this kind of turquoisey teal. I'm gonna include this and this pink in my streaks down and kind of running it over. We'll see how that plays out. I think when they blend together, they'll make something of a purple, and that might be nice. I haven't opened this color. I've used lots of colors, so I'm just gonna kind of smush down here all the stuff that was in this lid section before I throw it away, and I probably won't need any more of that, but I'll keep it handy in case I do. I haven't used this one either, so I should be able to do the same thing here. Okay. And again, this kind of fuchsia looking pink may not really match what I've done in the other areas of it, so we'll see. Let me do a camera check right now to make sure you can see what I'm going to be doing, because I've got the, let me move this over a bit where you can still see, but you can still see the whole white sheet. Okay, that works. I'm a little sensitive about camera angles because yesterday I had an alarm go off, and while I was fidgeting with the phone to silence the alarm, I moved the camera unbeknownst to me, and it kind of it came out wonky, and I think the camera was really bad. So it was a long video for a double page layout, and I really didn't want to do it again. So let me do, I'm going to start from here. My horizontal line is here, my vertical line is here. I'm going to kind of start from here and go up that way and do some same thing here. And I'll let these kind of darker areas be on there. I may do a bit right there. I'll let that kind of, well, let's see what I can do here. And this, a lot of this will be covered up, but I kind of want it to have some variation and some interest, and I want to kind of blur the lines of where it begins and ends, kind of have it. You can see that on here we've got some kind of coming out there, we've got some coming out there, and so I'm going to maybe draw some of this out, draw some out here, Okay, now I'm going to take the, well, there's plenty on there, and I can always use some up that way because it kind of narrows there, and I can do some of that with the butterflies and any other things I use. Let me kind of go there. Yeah. Okay, oops, and I've got the edge of my paper in the teal, and that's okay. That now becomes a feature on the page. Let me get the pink down in case I need to go back. Now I'm going to take this and do some streaks, kind of out that way, maybe out in here. Over this way. And I'll let the big swath of color kind of come down this way, and I'm going to repeat that same, this kind of smudge over down here, just again so it looks intentional. And if I catch any of you telling anybody that that wasn't intentional, just watch out. Okay, I'm going to call that my background. I'm going to pick this up and put it aside. It's texture paste, and it may, I wish I had I really don't have anything I can use it on at the moment, but I'm going to put it aside on this piece of paper, and if it isn't completely dried out, by the time I do get another, that would be great to spread across a canvas, actually. Okay, I think I'm done with this guy. So I'm going to move it off to the side. Now, okay, I'm going to make an attempt to wash my hands with my baby wipe. Okay. I think for this particular layout, look, let me see, well, actually, that's not true. Let me take I want to do some ink splotchy looking things around, and so I'm going to use these I'm going to do some orange. I'm going to use this honeycomb stencil because it the image kind of degrades into a let's see, which one of my paintbrushes that I have handy would be good for this. I don't have many paintbrushes put away here by my desk. I need to change that. Okay, so I'm going to do this one right here, and I'm going to try dipping my paintbrush into this pigmented ink and then kind of doing a bit of a messy blotch there. And I'll outline that with black later. Let me do another one kind of this shape right here. There we go. And another one maybe a different shape. I like that one right in here. It kind of points inward there. The first one I did with the darker orange, the second one with the lighter, and this is a blend. Okay, I'm gonna do some more up here. Let's try that. And this is getting some of the texture paste on it, but I kind of want to do a couple more, maybe a trio of them right there and right here. And you can see that as the stencil picks up the texture paste, I'm getting a little bit of it out in here, and I'm actually going to take advantage of that and do some. I'm going to lay it down. It's completely kind of random shapes, and it adds to the look. Okay, and now I'm going to do a different technique to get some splotches. I'm going to pull my baby white into the mix, and I'll take each of the splotches that I did and kind of wipe through the stencil. And of course I'm getting some of the blue, but it's kind of just a muted look. And it cleans my stencils at the same time as I'm creating some interesting effects on the page. Okay, anything else that I have? There's some of the pink and the teal back here, but I think I've pulled off that in the jelly plate world. That would be called a secondary print, where I take stuff that's kind of accumulated on there. But when I've messed up and done stenciling before the background is dry, I call it Scrappy Cathy print, a Scrappy Cathy print. Let me take this thing right here. I have this long straight line which I can make part of my vertical line here. I wish I had some gel medium. I don't happen to have any gel medium here. And because I didn't necessarily plan this out, I don't really have all the absolutely best supplies for this. Okay, let me do this. The reason I want this on here is to see how much of it will show. I want to back it right up to this teal line, because I think that's going to show under the butterflies. Okay, I've pretty much got glue all over that, and I'm getting some teal on it, and that's okay because I think that's going to get covered up by the photo cluster. Speaking of which, we probably ought to put that on here. I'm thinking it's going to go like that. Okay, that's enough of the vivid background, and I'm okay with the fact that this pink doesn't match that pink, because this pink is in her shirt and it kind of goes with that pink, and this one is more the color of her leg. So, you know, I could say I planned it that way, but you would know that that's not true. let me get more glue on here because it isn't looking like it wants to stay down. Now for the back of this, I'm going to use across the heavy part, I'll use this, and then I'll add some, I want these edges to stay flat on the paper. So I'll do that, and I'll do a few bits across here. I'm not tucking anything up under this, this striped piece of paper. Okay, let's turn it over, and I've got some of my little fiber bits that I'm gonna try to get glued down. Okay, let's see. You know, that's gonna work, I think. I've got some mess here, but again, that's okay. And okay, let me see if that's straight where it needs to be straight. Okay, all of these little fibery things are working just fine. Now I have this, which I meant to put, or wanted to put, here under the photo, but over this matte piece. So I'm gonna see if it will work, and I want some of that turquoise and some of that blue, but also to show. Okay, so I'm gonna really glue this one up well, because there may be some stamping that'll occur on it. I've got those fibers around, and the more they spread around and add to the texture of the piece, the better, in my opinion. So I'll kind of do this so that it looks like I've got that. Okay, that's a Vicky Boutin. It's a scrap, obviously. It's from one of her collections. All the papers on here are hers. Okay, I've got another one here that I thought I'd put kind of going the other way, but I kind of would like it maybe there, and then I can put some sort of like a butterfly overlaying that. Okay, so I'll just put some liquid glue on this. Ooh, matte medium. Let me do that. It's a little bit more liquidy, and I can kind of glaze. I'll do the same thing on here. This is a, it's not a Vicky Boutin. I do have some Vicky Boutin medium, but that's not who made this. This is a Jane Davenport. I have lots and lots because I use it a lot. Get this tucked under there and going out almost to the end of the page. Okay. And instead of gluing it to what's under it, I'm gluing it to the what's on top of it. Okay, more of these fibers, and if I need to get more interest in that along those lines, I can just do some more picking like this. This reminds me of, I think I was in 5th grade. I was in 4-H, and our very first 4-H project was to make a potholder, and we used some kind of fabric that was easily fringed, and we went around it fringing. Now, I'd never had so much fun as I had doing that fringing. Okay, so I really like that this teal brings out the teal in that butterfly. And it kind of also brings out this turquoisey teal, even though it's slightly different color. Because this is glossy, I may be able to get some of that off. And that seems to be working. And it kind of colored this a little bit, which is fine. Okay. Let's see. This I wanted to use kind of here, and because I don't need it all, I'm gonna cut a bit off that I can use elsewhere, maybe even here. But I like that. Okay, let me kind of put that in there. That works. Okay, I'll use those later. Let me now go to some, well, let me get my black pen and maybe kind of trace around some of these guys. Just adding something makes it look like a stamped image that I filled in or colored with the orange. And it brings in some black. I'm going to add lots of black to this. I'm kind of, even I know that these are truly hexagons, but if I draw a circle around them, it counts as a circle shape in my spoonful recipe. Okay, up here, I covered up the orange that I did here. There's some medium across there, or glue, but I can highlight some of these, and you see them now, whereas you kind of didn't before. Okay, now I'm going to take this stencil, bring it over here, and again do some black pen through it. And I had someone ask me last week what kind of black pen I'm using. I'll look in a minute to see if this is one of my tool pens or if it's this is the Uniball Signo. It's what I've switched to from tool, and I'm gonna kind of draw my freehand circle through there. I'm gonna do another one of these, maybe a half one that's kind of sticking out right here into the white and not going over the pink. And I'll do that. And let's see, I want a third one, maybe down a bigger one down here. And I'll hide it partly up under the, well, you know what? I kind of like this spot better because I don't want to cover up that orange. Okay, this will be good. Now I'm going over texture paste and medium and glue and the ink and blends of all of the above, so the pen will behave differently on each surface. And I like that. That kind of adds to the scribbly sort of mixed media look that I'm going for. Okay, so that's another stencil used. This one, I may take my teal one of these, well, the dark blue or this different teal, this different kind of blue. There's a teal here. These two together might make the color that I would like to do. So I'm going to pull my pink pad off of here. It almost pulled itself off. Time to throw that one away, I think. And I'm going to put a blue one on, or a clean one on, and kind of do this. And maybe add this in over this pink. Let me see, do I care? You can't read or tell what that is, so it's not something that I have to be careful about. So just kind of added a little bit of that, and you can see the bluer and the tealer because I got both colors on here. And I might put another bit right in there, and it kind of overlaps onto the cloth, which I like, and because I had in mind doing something on the cloth. I may do a different look. This is a stencil I need to clean, so I like cleaning stencils onto the page. So I'll do that, and we'll see how that turns out. Oh, I've got some more fibers this time from the baby wipe. Okay, that works, and it kind of barely shows under there. And my stencil is clean, so I can put it aside. Now, the stencil that I thought I might want to use on top of, well, another one with the blue would be these circle shapes with circle shapes inside. And I'm going to kind of try to do a half one like this, and kind of go up over onto the background matte paper and over the orange. I don't think I'll do every little circle, but I'll do enough on the outer part for it to definitely look like a circle filled with circles. Okay, that's good. I like that. Let me do another one here. And then I'm going to do it a little bit different way. I'm going to pull some yellow and orange from the ink pad. And I'll put the ink through the stencil, and then probably clean the stencil onto the page as well. I'm really trying to add as many layers of color and texture here as possible to get something of a grungy look. Now here's what I want to do here. I want to kind of take this circle-y stencil, I'm going to kind of slide it there and get it spaced kind of nicely across on top of the fanned circle and kind of look like I double stamped that area. And so it's kind of double stenciling. And I don't need to fill in every one here, but just added some. I like how that turned out, had no idea. And then I may do something similar right here. Why don't I'm gonna stamp this in solid black. Let me pull out my VersaFine ink and let me get another pad and do this. Okay. There needs to be something here, but there will be butterflies kind of doing that. And then I think down here might be a good spot for it. And it can overlap that this horizontal element. And I'm gonna do another one. Ooh, why don't I do it over top of this fan? Let me just do it in addition to partly overlapping that and partly overlapping the one I did with my black pen. Okay, so that's done. Let me kind of clean that off. That VersaFine ink, I really like how black that is. I admired the blackness of someone's stamped image the other day. It was Emily Chamel of the leader of the Scrap Academy. And let me see. And she uses this. So I went and got it and tried it, and it was wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna do something right here that is gonna look like it's extending out from under there. And I'll do another one. I kind of like the little edgy looking ones. I'll do another one kind of right here, leading up to but not including that. And I'll do it on this pink, these. Okay, that didn't quite come out, so let's fix that. It's just a, I may do some, that's not particularly exciting. Let me do this inside it, just to give it some texture, and that's not too exciting either. So let me find another, here's this, I'll put, okay, insignificant and not particularly ingenious there. Although, let me say that I did want to stencil, well, no, I'm gonna stamp on the butterflies. Haven't done the butterflies yet. So let me do this maybe with my blue combination again. Let's see, that's where that went. Okay, and I might do a similar one here. Okay, and why not one up here? Oh, I tell you what, why don't we add to this little mistake over here on the side by adding some little choop-choops to it. Okay, so I think that's enough of that on there. Let me clean the stencil onto the page, maybe right here. Okay, put that aside. Here's another circly image that I could do. Halvesies here, 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 here. Okay, and I'm going to go for another one, maybe right down here. And let me pick another one kind of in a, making something of a triangle. Here I'm going to have a little bit more showing. Let me try to do it this way. Well, they all have, there we go. And I'm crossing over probably about 4 layers in some areas. And that's what I love about mixed media. So let me do some extra little outside lines there. Okay, put that off there. And here are just some circles. I'm hitting, up against the fibers that are kind of sticking out there, and I know I've probably gotten a bit off course for the, for this. I don't plan to do a lot of this, the kind of traditional florals there, but what I'm trying to do here is there's this kind of semi-circle of circles. I'm trying to kind of do something similar to that around here, leading up to the circle, well, maybe even to this circle. So I'll do different sizes and have them at different spots, but kind of overlapping, and making something of a garland, if you will. And I'm doing it all with my pen. And overlapping things I've already stamped and stenciled and painted and texture pasted, just to add to the fun. Okay, my garland is complete, and I may or may not add some, finish this up here. Okay. That just kind of looks like a bubble, a garland of bubbles. I'm going to go ahead and complete it up to this horizontal. So that looks good. I may go through and kind of, I guess in this, it looks like there's some jewels around. These are jewel elements, and I'm not gonna put any jewels on mine. But I don't mind kind of texturing them up a bit with some doodled stripes. I'll even do doodling over dots. Okay. And then the ones I didn't do stripes, I'll do these kind of circle-y bits inside, sort of reinforcing the circle theme. Okay. Now, this is a stencil I pulled out to use mainly to give texture, and I thought I would do that with the pen. So let me try just a little bit of this kind of up in here. It's a map stencil from Let's Wander, yeah, the Let's Wander stencils. And I thought it would make a great texture addition to kind of be as an underlayment to them. Let me do a little bit of one here. It'll be an underlayment to the butterflies that are going to be up there. It'll probably get covered up mostly, but it'll peek out every once in a while. And so I've added a little bit of it down here. Okay, now let's do the butterflies. And here's where I need my mat back. I'm going to lay the butterflies out. I have 5 of them. I think I had 5 of them. Where did my 5th one go? I have lost a butterfly. There it is. Okay, and it's the yellow one because I really wanted that. Okay, so now I'm going to take my stamps and see across this big blue one. Well, okay, no. I tell you what I'm going to do. One of the things I liked is on the original, there are some butterflies stamped on the, or a big butterfly stamped on the paper, kind of showing through. So that's what I'm going to do with this big butterfly stamp. Pull the stamps out, put that aside. I have a, now, what I want to be sure, I'm sorry, I just knocked the camera around again. I probably ought to check and see if it's still seeing everything. Yep, it appears to. Okay, what I want to do is stamp it across here. And I'm going to kind of peel this back, and I'll put it back there later. Okay. Look how nice and black that is. And I'm going to have to do it here because, okay, that's great. And now I know which areas I have to cover up with kind of right in there, because that didn't quite stamp all the way. But I'm going to try this stamp on top of one of the other stamps, the blue one. And I'm going to try to line this blue butterfly up with the parts there, and I'm going to press it on like this. And it didn't, I can feel that it's not going to cover the whole thing, but it kind of did that, which I don't hate. But I'm going to add another layer of stamping to kind of somewhat disguise the fact that that didn't stamp all the way. Okay, let me pull one of the abstract kind of stamps. I like this one with the little circles, and I can use my small block for that. I'm going to stamp it several times, I think. And this way, this time I'm going to do this. Kind of go like that, and like that, like that, and like that. And I'll go back and do some secondary things. Okay, so that's one. And I'm going to, well, actually, let me do this stamp directly on the page too. Kind of like that, and kind of like that. And you can see just part of it because it was propped up onto here, and that's okay. Do that there, and I may do it over here. Okay, so I've gotten some more circled images in there for Spoonful. Let me put that off to the side. That's been used. Okay, let's do another butterfly. What would be good on this butterfly? I like these plus signs, kind of here, and here, and here, and here. I like that. Okay, let's clean that off and put it aside. Then I'll go with these little triangles, if you will. And I'm just gonna do this kind of across a wing this way. There we go. Okay. And then I'll do these little dotty things. I'll just do it over as much as I can cover of this yellow one. And then I'll leave the rest uncovered. Okay, and then what do I have? This is kind of a beigey one. Okay, what do I have left? I have this little choopy one, whatever that is. And I think I'll do it in the middle. Okay, there we go. All my butterflies are stamped. My stamps are clean, ready to put away. Let me cover this up. And now we put the finishing touches on here, which have always been meant to be the butterflies. And then, the title, maybe some stars, maybe some who knows what. Okay, what butterfly would look good. Well, see, I want one here because this, because it covers that part of the underneath butterfly that didn't get stamped, didn't fully stamp. So I'm gonna do it here. And I love the parts that did get stamped really show through nicely. And I'm gonna do a yellow one here because it will really contrast with all the other colors that are there. And I can do it maybe down this way. I use the larger pink one down here. I thought I'd do it there to kind of disguise the straight line that I hadn't noticed I was doing on the stencil. We have the large blue one, which maybe I want to put here because it would get rid of this straight line there. And I still have black ink on my fingers, and that's just adding kind of to the grungy look. That's good. And we have this little kind of beige one, which might look nice here by the by this kind of pink wood grain. That's the exact same color there. It's sort of a pink beige. So it'll be kind of a reminder that that color is part of the color scheme. Okay, I've messed up my pop dot there. Let me again try to clean my hands. I'm going to add in these things kind of here. Well, I'll just one thing at a time. I don't need to be scrapping while cleaning my fingers. I need to scrap after cleaning my fingers. Trying to hurry up because I know this has been a long one. What's that? Okay, so I'll do it kind of right there. And now I'm going to maybe do this one. Here. And I'll kind of burnish that a bit to make it stick. And this one I may do kind of in conjunction with that one. Okay, another bit of glue. And it's not coming out. So where's my pokey tool? I'm just gonna let that be enough glue and I'll burnish it. Kind of curl that back. Okay, I'm done, except for the title, which I picked Love It, and I thought I would do it up over here, but I think I'm gonna do it over the fabric here. Again, I think what I'll mess with the glue off camera, but I'll just put it in place. And I have this XO, which is red, and I have no red in here, so I will not use that. I have some stars here, and I thought I would take, to kind of repeat this yellow and this yellow, I thought I'd do one or two in those circles. So again, I'll place it kind of as part of the circle chain. I'll place them where I will glue them later, and then we'll call this video done. Kind of put it up there, and then I'll put one over on this side. Okay, so something like that. All right, that is done. I can't say that I was absolutely true to the sketch this time, but I love it. It captures for me the colors and the spirit of that day that the girls decided to pose this way. So again, a reminder of what the original was, very understated and beautiful, and this one is kind of over the top and colorful. So thank you for watching. I appreciate your patience with long videos like this, but anytime I'm using 20 different techniques on the same page, I kind of like to be able to show each one without speeding it up and editing it. So thanks for watching. Bye.